Hey, guys. Good evening. Sorry, it's been kind of a crazy mess over here. I've been trying to get things cleaned up, all kinds of miscellaneous. Kind of nice today. I had the day off. Wasn't expecting that, but here we are. So, kick back here, taking it easy. Put up a couple things here real quick while we're getting along. Okay. Come on, crazy thing. Giving me notifications that I'm already live. I just never have quite understood that. I guess to make sure that you know that you are actually going live. But anyhow, so we got another one finished up. Got another one that's already started on the build. Well, it's actually done. I just got to get the other one tuned out. So it's going to be essentially the same thing. Let me see here. I don't know if any of you guys have started chatting or not. I guess this crazy thing is doing something different. Let's see here. Come on. Trying to see what's going on here. See if we can figure out what's going on here. And for some reason, I don't have my little bar here for this crazy thing. Oh well. Anyhow, so I may try this again here in just a few minutes, but we'll go through this one. Like I said, for some reason, it's not letting me view comments again. I'm not sure really what's up with that. If I'm selecting something wrong to start with, I guess I'll just have to wait and find out. But anyhow, so we got another 4-pill going on. Grab a little stick here. So this one's for Bad Eye. He's actually a gentleman that lives right here in Indiana. So this one will be staying here kind of halfway close. We've got our standard 3-pole relay that we've been using for the biasing, the dual 8-gauge wires to feed everything, the 5/8 core again, and then our biasing circuit. So, and I'm sure you guys have kind of noticed here lately that mine's a little different than everybody else's. Get the camera over here. I've been putting the resistors over here, and I do use 5-watt instead of the 10 or 15-watt that is traditionally seen across the two here. Now, the reason why I'm not putting the big Super Duty resistors across here is I actually use a few different components in retrospect to how mine is set up for the biasing. So, a lot of it has to do with that little bitty diode here. And then I can actually get by with a little bit more resistance. So that's the reason why I'm able to go with a smaller component here and still keep the biasing where I'm actually wanting it. So today we're actually just going to be using the President Lincoln 2. This is going to be comparable to what he is running. Actually, he's going to be running a Striker that's going to put out a little bit more. We're going to show you some numbers, and then we'll wrap this one up with me tuning out the pass-through. So that's the one thing that hasn't been done. It's just the pass-through, but we'll go ahead and show you a couple different numbers and kind of go from there. Let's start with the radio off. So like I said, right now me go over here. All righty, so pass-through tune you're going to see is kind of, not bad, but it's not great. But like I said, that's one of the few things we still got to finish up yet. So hello, audio. So about 3/4 of a watt on the pass-through. So like I said, we'll definitely want to get that taken care of. Okay, so we're going to flip over into the AM mode, but it's still biased. So let's see here. Let's see what I got my carrier set at here. Let's go back, shut that off. Turn 5 watt slug around for a second. Okay, so we're going to be putting a little over 5 watts, it looks like. So, all right, so there's right at 5 watts on the carrier going in. Turn that on. So 1,000 watt slug in 1X position for PEP, 1,000 watt in 1X for Bird. This one does not have a multiplier, it's just straight RMS. Now our 5 watt slug coming back from our 5,000 watt Bird dummy load, 5 watt reflect in reverse going back to the radio. So 5 watts in gives us about 180 watt carrier. Hello, audio. So we get about 375 on the Bird, on the peak. Hello, audio. Just a hair over 300. Output reflect going back to the 5,000 watt Bird dummy load. Like I said, with 5 watts going in, 180 watt dead key. We've got like 1/10 of a watt. Audio and 2/10, moving it on up. Look at the input over here. Audio, about 4/10 of a watt. So not too bad. We'll flip that into sideband mode. So right now we're just going to see a delay because I'm still on AM. And then we'll get to the sideband portion of it. Hello. So you hear the little delay. And we're over here to sideband. I'm going to go ahead and turn the radio up to where it's got some good punch going on. All right, so in sideband mode, audio. So just slightly under the 400, depending on my voice. The PEP, audio, about 575, 580. But there again, sideband is primarily derived from the RMS. So, right there's about what we want. But I think that's going to take care of all his needs with the radio he's going to be driving it with. Radio back to AM. We're going to hang up the microphone here. All right, so let's go through here. Hook up that pass-through tune. Yeah, sorry about it, guys. I don't know what you're saying. For whatever reason, it's not letting me see comments tonight. There is kind of a way that I can go around it here, maybe. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. So it'll be a little delayed, but I'll pull it up here on my phone. Good morning or good evening, Gary, Bill, Wayne. Back before my finish. Okay. Well, hello, 3. Oh, you're down in Florida. I forgot about that. Yep. And there's Mr. Bruce. Good evening time. All righty. So let's go ahead. Let me grab. It's the only other thing I got to do to this one, like I said, is we're going to do the pass-through tune. And then I'm going to go over here and see which project we're going to work on. And then I'll probably come back here and shoot another video right behind this one here, just a short. So yeah, I know it's late on a Friday night or Sunday night. Let's go ahead and hook this up, pass through. Yeah, this one gets the Anderson connector. The other one is going to have a temporary plug put on it. That way I can hook it into my workbench. But it's going to get ring terminal before it leaves here. This one's set up just as it is. It's ready to go for the customer. So let's go through here. Get that up here a little bit more. And let's see, mode. Yep, that's what I want, I think. Okay. Now we've got that set on SWR. Let's go ahead and hook up our 50 ohm dummy load here on the back. All right, so let's see, spanned. Take that. All right. Already got it set because we've already done the other one on the pass-through. So just to make life easy, I've got this set right now for 10 megahertz as far as from one end to the other. So essentially it's going to be 5 megahertz above, 5 megahertz below. Our green arrow is indicating our center frequency, which is 27.205, which is where we're at. So look up here, we're at about a 1.4, which that's okay, I guess, but let's see. We can't get in there and make that a touch better. So I'm going to pull out a magic part here. I'm just going to kind of catch it, see where this one takes us. That takes us down to about a 1.3. Some of these capacitors, I know it's better if you're just going to do this by touch. If you just nip the tips off of it, that way you've got a nice clean unadulterated edge to get your best. Okay, and we're still at a 3.5. All right, so that may be a little too much, I don't know. We're going to go down one and then we'll go up one and see where we're at now that we've got a reference point. Okay, so the other one was actually too high. That's got us down to 1.1. All right, so let's see if we can get something just a little bit better. Okay. It's hard to do whenever you're Getting fat fingered in there. Come on, you crazy thing. And that's 1.06. So we do have a bingo. All right, so let's put the other one back up. Shut this off. For a moment. Plug that, get this installed, and then we'll go and recheck it again just to make sure that we don't have anything that could cause us any kind of issues. But hopefully you guys have had a great day today. Like I said, or evening. We're just getting things going here for me. Dun, dun, dun. That's what I want. Just going to put a little bit of heat shrink on these legs. That way I know if it moves, I don't have to worry about it touching anything that I don't want it to. Yeah, sometimes, depending on which there again, it is going to change a little bit, Wayne, as far as whenever you're holding it, especially whenever you've got really small, delicate legs like what these have. These are little 300-volt capacitors, and these are great for pass-through tune because you're not going to be driving the living snot out of them. It's just a snubber is all it is. So sometimes if your fingers actually touch that, which I'll show you guys here in a minute, that actually can change it. But let's see here, the 15 puff. No, actually I had to go up to 27, which is kind of an odd number, but I do have several of those, and that's what I've got them for, is this purpose right here. I've got some caps that I've got that go down all the way to like a half a puff. So I don't have to use those very often, although I will use them from time to time. And oddly enough, these amps have been built back to back, the other one that I've got. But what's kind of unusual is how the other one tuned out. It tuned out a little differently, which they're not quite from the same batch, but they're close. And when there's applicable room, I like going actually to the center of the bar if I can. Unfortunately, you don't always get that option. So okay. How perfect is my dummy load? Well, it's actually quite accurate. The one I've had, now I've had it for almost 30 years. And as soon as we check this here, I'll pull it off and I'll actually show you a little bit about it. Because that is actually a good question. And the reason why it's such a good question is because it makes a difference on how things actually tune out. Whenever you're doing this as far as for the pass-through. Yeah, the small dummy load that I use, typically it's never seen more than about 5 watts in its life. Let's see here. Yeah, I unhooked my meter. I forgot about that. I did that just in case something catastrophic that was unforeseen and could cause any kind of a glitch or issue with the meter. I just remember where Luke had told me of kind of a boo-boo he'd made once, and cost him the cost of another meter. So we don't want that. All right, so that takes us down to 1.1. We are in a level playing field all the way across from 27.205 all the way up to 32 megahertz up. And then let's go all the way down here. Yeah, so 22 through 32, that's 1.1, which is awesome, because we're not going to be transmitting on this that far out of band. So that's going to be awesome. All right, so let's shut this off. Get this out of the way, and then we'll get the dummy load. Huh. Yeah, that's kind of odd, especially to have a reactance of 6. So let me set this out of the way. Still going to put the fan on it. All right. So we're going to do a couple different tests here. And that way you can kind of see what some of the differences are. Now this is not a super expensive meter. I bought this one mainly because of the fact that it is actually a good price and it's reasonably accurate for doing a lot of little stuff, which is made by Unity. So we're going to use this today for there we go. Resistance. Okay, so it's zeroed out at 0 ohms. So we're going to go to the outer shell. And hold it on there long enough. Okay, here it's showing 50.2 ohms. All right. Let's see what the B and K shows. Helps if I put it in on resistance. I'll show you guys here in just a second. I want to make sure I've got it held on there right. Ah. Okay, so this is showing 50.4. I'll show you here. Let's go up here to the B and K. Now the B and K, you have to bear in mind, I've got the leads crossed, so we've got 0.2 ohms of resistance going through our cables. So we actually have to subtract that from our overall. So yeah, 50.37. So take 2 away. So it's going to be 50.18. So we're basically back to the 50.2. All right. That way we've got a little bit more verification. This has just got that nice little big meter on it with big numbers. Yeah, but we've got some new people that have came in there too, Wayne. Thank you for remembering. But sometimes it doesn't hurt to go back and repeat. That way some people that haven't seen all the videos or seen all of them all the way through can actually go back. So we're going to hit all parameters. All right, so there again, we're showing a resistance of 50.1/2. It's going back and forth. So, the 50.18 is where we're at. This has got a reactance of 0.6 is where we're at. Now that's at 27,200, which we can actually go up or down a little bit. Yeah, I know, push the wrong button. So let's take this up here. To 30 megahertz-ish. We're still showing fairly low on the reactance, at 0.7. Like I said, you got to remember I've had this dummy load for a very, very long time. So let's go down to 25 megahertz. Okay. Hit OK. 50.2, 0.6 on the reactance. So like I said, broad spectrum, still showing good. And like I said, this thing's fairly old, and it's still in pretty decent shape. It's not a super expensive one, but it's not a cheap one either. This is actually made, which now 30 years ago, this company was one of the top of the line. We can get that in there. And they still have some of the best products out there on the market. If we can get the glare off of it, maybe. But it's made by Telewave. And it's a model TWL-35. Theoretically, it's supposed to be a 35-watt dummy load. Like I said, I don't think I've put, since I got it, I don't think I've put more than 5 watts, maybe 10 at the most at any given time. So like I said, it still holds a good reactance, and it still has everything we need in order to go ahead and process, like making jumpers or making small adjustments through pass-through tunes. This is ideal just for that circuit. It doesn't have to be 100%, but a reactance of 6 is definitely too far out of range. So on your MFJ, see, I'll show 49 ohms. Yeah, it actually should show about 49 ohms. Most of the really good ones are going to show anywhere from 48 to 49. And they do that intentionally as far as dropping the resistance just slightly under, because of the fact that they know that once they get burned in, they're going to be about 50 ohms. So let's see. Yeah, I'm reading my comments here. So we found a way around it. Let's see. Before, couldn't remember, showed the X. Yep. So yeah, that's not a big deal. The fines, let's see, did I? Oh, 3. Okay. Small panel meters. Asked for a link. Not much, Rat. What kind of meters are you needing, Early? If I know what you're looking for, buddy, if I've got some on the shelf, or if I have a link to something like that that you need, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out on that. But anyhow, so we got this one squared away. Like I said, we've got one more, and it's also done. Put this stuff up. Like I said, all I've got left is to put the covers basically on them. All right, so that's put up. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and call it good on this video here. I want to switch over. We're going to do another one here just in like 5 minutes, however long it takes me to get everything set back up. Essentially, it's going to be a rundown of the same thing, and then we're going to go on to a third project right after that. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the next one like we did on this one, but we're going to go to the next. For that meter, if you can do some measurements on that 3, let me know. As far as on the dimensions, I need the width and the height. I don't need the depth, but I'll need the length and the height that you have for that. For some of you, hang on. Get that out of the way. Oops. We've got some other stuff, like I said, that we've got in here. I had mine custom cut as far as for my meter. It's just going to be a small power supply and a small little 2-pill base when we're all said and done. Like I said, I did a real quick video on this. I've got another video coming up eventually. It'll probably be this next weekend coming up. I'm waiting on a few other things to come in, and then we're going to show you this case again, as well as the other brand new case that I've got on order, because they've actually came in as well. But everything's really, really nice. I mean, CNC made handles. These actually are cut directly into the side. I mean, just absolutely fantastic, with everything. Everything's extruded aluminum. Even the panels, these are even extruded aluminum. So very, very high-end cases. I even had this one cut out. Get it in there with some light. This one's cut out with my exhaust port, got my entry fan, and we've got our hole right here where we can just plug a standard computer cord right into it for the power. So, like I said, I'm really digging this one. I've already got one order for one. Alrighty. All right, guys. You take care. Be safe. We'll see you here in about 5 minutes or so. Bump, bump, everybody.